Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Stefan, and today we'll be starting our new series. Today we'll be playing as the Happy Slave Merchants on the highest difficulty settings in-game. These are the difficulty settings which we're playing with, and indeed, these are the hardest you can get in-game. Max Advanced AI starts, Grand Admiral, no scaling, high AI aggressiveness. Of course, we're also playing with Glavius' Ultimate AI Mega Mod, link in the description, and without further ado, let's start. If you want to check out the Empire strategy before actually watching the series, there's a special episode 0 for that in the top right corner. But anyways, let's actually begin. Our strategy right now is going to be to expand, rush, and conquer an empire. Since we are playing on these difficulty settings, rushing down AI is going to be quite difficult, and so we're going to have to focus our entire economy on actually making the rush possible. For that, we're going to go ahead, sell off some resources, and maximize our alloy output. So what we're gonna do, sell off some of this, buy up some good old minerals, and start building stuff. First thing we do is build an alloy, and then we go ahead and pop that mining station in our home system. Perfect. And now let's see what we got for tech. Let's go for that extra research, extra campaigns, and Corvette build speed. It's very fortunate that we got this because it's going to mean that we're going to be able to pump out more Corvettes at a cheaper price. As far as our ruler goes, things are looking pretty damn good. We have fleet expansion as our agenda, and we also have explorer and expansionist. That means that expanding early on is going to be nice and easy, and we're not going to suffer too many problems. With the exception, of course, of the borders. We have 3 choke points, it seems, that we're going to have to handle, but that is fine. We're gonna rush expand over here, then claim this, and then leave this part for later. If I can just secure this system, we will be safe in this little cluster, and everything will be alright. So first thing we're gonna do is send out a nice little science ship over to our nearby systems. We don't need to survey any systems yet because, well, we don't know which systems have habitable planets in them. And habitable planets is exactly what we're after. Since we have private prospectors, it's going to be very easy for us to purchase colony ships and just start colonizing while we militarize. Private prospectors is one of the best early game civics in the game, and having that is going to provide us with a stronger economy later on, as well as with a backup in case we fail our first raid. In that case, we can just fall back on our colonies and proceed almost as normal. Let's take a look at our policies, make sure everything's alright. Indeed, everything seems to be okay. I could go for nutritional plentitude, but I would like to save some food for later, and pop growth is not entirely necessary at this point. After all, we only really need 2 pops from the early game in order to fill up to 30 pops to get that extra building slot. As a side note, I will be using time lapses throughout this video series in order to ensure that the boring parts are more or less skipped over, and if you really want to see what's going on there, you can just slow down the video in the bottom right corner and watch what's going on in slow motion. The videos I make here are now at 60 Hz, and so you should be able to catch a lot more than before. Anyways, let's proceed. Alrighty, we have found our first planets, and we actually found 2 of them, size 24 and size 18. Only one of them is actually going to be preferable in terms of habitability. However, we're going to colonize both of them because, well, the penalties the habitability provides are actually not that significant. You can always get more amenities from entertainers and servant slaves and such, and the extra food and consumer goods upkeep is just a small price to pay for the extra resources that we'll be getting from this colony. So without further ado, let's sell off some more of our resources and go ahead and buy a private colony ship. Now let's start surveying the system and be on our way. Alrighty, our first planet looks quite alright. We have plenty of generator and mining districts, and we even have Betharian fields. Perfect. As far as our starting planet goes, we're going to want to continue clearing slums and mobilizing our economy. Overall, our economy is looking quite alright. We're getting plenty of resources from our slaves, and that will be the backbone of our economy until we can get more slaves. Oh wow, there was a mass extinction on the Arctic Gaia once. Our first stumbling steps into the void beyond Arctic Gaia We're not motivated solely by curiosity or desire to conquer the unknown or a need to leave our mark on the galaxy. The biosphere of Arctic Gaia has undergone rapid changes to the past few centuries, and prominent scientists warn that Arctic Gaia may be faced with the beginnings of a mass extinction event, the cyclical purging of life that is inseparable from planetary existence in the greater cosmos. A research plan has been put together to study a number of planets rendered uninhabitable by major astronomical incidents or planet-bound catastrophes. We hope that by reconstructing these events, a similar fate may be avoided for the Arctic Gaia and the weird Berber race. It falls upon you, as the Chief Executive Officer of the Happy Slave Merchants, to ensure that this expedition is carried out. Consult the situation log for details. For a weird Burb future.
Situation log updated.
We have quite a few planets to survey, so let's track them all. And geez, that one is going to be a pain in the ass. Well, that's fine. We'll just survey the systems around us, and eventually we'll get to those planets and we'll be able to study them. Status report. Our other planet is a perfect candidate for a new Commodopolis. It is decently large and there aren't a lot of districts that I'll be missing. Perfect. Alrighty, we have now unlocked our first tradition, and it's time to choose which path we're going to follow. Well, for the sake of the early rush, we're going to go down Supremacy. This will result in an increase of our fire rate, and it's going to make fielding a fleet much easier. Alrighty, we can now settle our future Commodopolis, and yeah. First, Weird Burb Colony. A great day for our people. We're also going to replace our commercial zones with alloy foundries, and that's actually going to balance out our jobs very nicely. We absolutely have to maximize our alloy production, and sacrificing commercial zones is a good way to go. As far as our other planet goes, it's going to be called the Big Jenny. We should be able to generate a lot of energy on this planet, and in fact, later on we're going to be able to specialize it even further. Since we are playing on the 2.2.5 patch, and we are going to synthetically ascend, we actually have buildings that increase the amount of districts, such as the Energy Nexus and the Mineral Purification Plants. Since we're going to be becoming synths, it's going to be open to us just as with Machine Empires. We also have an option for a Habitable World Survey. This time, I'm actually going to refuse. We have more important matters to focus on. The survey is not going to do anything for us in the early game, and rejecting it grants valuable influence so that we can expand. Alrighty, let's recruit another scientist, and send them on their way to survey stuff. After all, we do need to secure our choke points, and getting that done is a priority.
Colonization.
Ooh, another world. Size 11. Doesn't matter, we'll still colonize it. More pops equals more jobs, equals more resources. Virtually in every situation, more pops equals win. Alrighty, second tradition option. Now let's go for that fleet logistics. That's going to allow us to sustain our fleet a little bit cheaper at this point. Ooh, the Cybrex. Now we are pretty close to the area where Habanus would spawn, which is a size 25 Econopolis. However, I'm actually kind of happy that we got the Cybrex inside of that, because having a size 25 Yuko is just honestly too OP. The Cybrex, on the other hand, are going to provide us a nice foundation to build later megastructures. Wonderful.
Situation log updated.
At this point, we could also afford to set our policies over to a militarized economy, and that is because now our alloys are making a lot more in energy credit equivalent than consumer goods. Because after all, there's a trade-off. You can get 15% of extra alloys for the price of 25% of consumer good production. With values like we have right now, our economy is actually soaring because of that decision. Looks like we have yet another size 12 Arctic world, and that is honestly alright. I can use these two planets for mini Ecomonopoli, or just as slave worlds or something. This planet is actually located in a pretty precarious situation. It is right on top of a choke point, and so we're going to be able to fortify this up and make it invincible.
Technology secured.
Alrighty, our first tech is underway, and now we can have a choice, really. We can either have improved Corvette hulls, which are going to increase our early rush options even further, or we can get powered exoskeletons, which are going to be essential for building robots later on. Well, I think we're going to go for Corvette hulls, just in case. You can never be too safe with the early rush, and that is because it's the most dangerous part of the game. If you fail on that, well, sucks.
Sphere of influence expanded.
We also have our first colony down, which is wonderful. And this is going to allow us to have a place where to put slaves later. I'm also going to purchase a bit more food, and we're actually going to boost pop growth with a decision. And you know what, at this point we might as well go for nutritional platitude. It's not going to cost us too much, and our economy should be able to sustain it. Ooh, extra pop growth. Perfect. And we can also get overwhelming force. Now it's also time to start searching for opponents, so let's start sending science ships out and just doing some exploration runs. If we wait too long, the enemy may actually stand a chance against us, and of course, we don't want that. Ooh, more planets. Size 20 tundra. I'm loving this spawn. And we have our first aliens. And indeed, these are going to be normal species. Perfect. Now we can go ahead and survey these two systems. And we'll finally be on our way to destroy these fellas. Let's spam some Corvettes. And yeah, this is going to be about right. Right now it's year 8. It's a bit late to start discovering our first enemy empire. However, since we're still under year 10, it's going to be quite fine. We also have more aliens over in Hadar, and these also seem to be sapient. Perfect. We're going to wait for them to discover us, because they usually tend to do that, and our science output is not exactly top tier. Ooh, we have moons producing 6 minerals instead of 3. These seem to be Chthonians. And that's wonderful. We're going to be able to get our mineral economy up and running real fast, and it's going to be worthwhile to spend minerals to get the minerals, even this close to a war. Let's see, it looks like we can get 2 aggressive admirals once we start this war. And that ain't bad. Not bad at all. Okay, as an insurance policy, I'm actually going to start the project to research these guys.
Extraction complete.
Just in case. Ooh, these seem to be machine intelligence. Well, these guys are. These guys are going to be fine. We're not going to be able to really enslave their pops. And the most we can really do is just make them our protectorate. But for that, we have to have overwhelming power. And it doesn't seem that we can afford enough ships to do that. At least not yet. Ooh. Bakasharan Compact. These guys are xenophobic isolationists. Well, I kind of feel bad for you guys. Oh, that is a nice megastructure you got there. Ruined Ring World. It's about time to start, you know, rapidly advancing, so let's move our fleet in. We're going to need to hire some admirals on our ships. These guys actually seem to have reset. We're also going to want to recruit some armies. I only have a limited amount of resources. I think I'll spend more on corvettes instead. After all, we can always just occupy all their star bases and then worry about armies later. Alright, with these guys, we can actually just declare a rivalry. That's not going to really matter too much. Our fleet is now right near their systems. So we're going to be able to offer these guys subsidiary status and have them refuse. Now we can make some claims on their capital world, where most of their props are located. And possibly this ring world. So let's make these claims, sell some stuff so that we don't have a critical resource shortage. and declare war. We're going to use the make subsidiary war goal, and that way, once we conquer them, we're going to be able to take their main planet, and we're also going to make the rest of their planets our subsidiary. Seems that they only have one extra colony, but that's alright. They're going to be able to build back after this, and pay me some taxes. But anyways, that's going to be it for today. The first 10 years have went great, and in the next video, I'll be able to conquer this empire and enslave them, and show you how to do it properly. But anyways, if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, join my Discord if you want, donate if you can, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.